G'day, welcome back. I'd especially like to welcome my new subscribers, and I hope you enjoy the content on my channel. If you missed the last video, part 2 of the new compound slide for the lathe, link up there now, go watch that first, then come back and watch this one. Now I promised an upgrade to the mill as the next video, but I'm still waiting on what I need to upgrade it with to arrive, so I'm going to make another little change to that compound slide and try and make a new power feed for it. No idea whether it'll work or not, but it's just an idea and I'm going to see how I go. So follow me over to the lathe, over there, and we'll see how we go. Alrighty, so when I first made the original compound, I could only use this tiny little hand wheel because it had to clear all of this as it swung around here. But it's a bit higher now, so I've got more room. Now I've got this lump here, and I'll make a bigger handle, which means I can tighten up the gibs just a little bit more and make it easier to turn. But in doing that, I had a thought the other day, once again, no, it didn't hurt. What I can do is mount one of these little motors up here, bore the guts out of this, because that's not enough for what I need. Although, no, I can't use it because it's got to have a 6mm through in the middle. Is bore the guts out of this, machine this up, put a bit on the front and a step on the back, so that this becomes a press fit onto here. So that would sit up basically in that part of the handle there, and we'll just run a belt around it and drive it straight from there. We'll make a little bracket up to bolt on here and try and run it from there. The last one I had, this is the one I made up previously, and it just sat over the centre bolt and over that little bolt there to drive it, and just bolt it on up here, but it was never that successful. It sticks out too far when it's swung all the way around here. Yeah, you can't have the tailstock in because it's all in the way, everything gets in the way. So that's why I was thinking mounting something up here would be a much better idea. So that's the first step. Will be to machine up a new handle for here, bore the guts out of that pulley, and then see if we can mount it all up on here and get it working. Alrighty, before I kick this off, you're looking at a new camera angle here because I've made a slight modification to the rails up in the ceiling. Picture up there at the moment. Alright, so this whole handle setup originally was 3 pieces, but this time we're going to make it out of just 2 pieces. This is 1 piece and that. I'll reuse this. So I've got to turn that down to around 22mm. And this is 45, so it's a fair bit to come off. But I've got to come in here 25, and where I've got that set up now will just make it, and that's all. Alrighty, so that'll take a while to whittle that down to around half its size, so I'll bring you back when I get a bit closer. Getting close now. Damn, this thing's quiet now. Oh, it's just about bang on, I think. I want this to be a very, very neat fit on here. Only 0.05. Oh, that'll do me. Beautiful. Righto. Now I'm going to clean up this, take 0.2 off this back face. Put a chamfer on there first, I think. One of these is tapered. Oh, Jesus. Well, that's a wee problem. Polish it up a little bit with some air. That's better. Like I bought one. Only much more better. Alrighty. Now, I'm a little Looking at this thing, I've got a feeling this is two pieces that have been pressed together. I'm wondering what's going to happen when I bore the centre out of it. I don't know how much bigger I want to make that. I'm going to rig this part down to 34 millimetres. 44 millimetres, so I've got to take 10 millimetres off that. I'll bring it back when I'm done. So close to that jaw, it's not funny. Bought myself a nice little 6mm carbide spotting drill. Can't believe I got all the way through that without having to relieve it. Now I'm starting to wonder if I can get my 6mm tap all the way through that. And I don't think I can. I don't think it's long enough. Well, I might just, but I'll have to relieve a bit out of that front face, I think. The tap's turning in the chuck. Struggling on. It's tight in there too. Oh no. No, don't do that to me. God. Oh shit. Just broke that damn tap off in there. That's what I get for being fucking greedy. What a fucking bitch. Shit, and double shit. Oh well, let's put a sudden stop to that, hasn't it? Because I don't think I'm going to get that tap out of there.
Roll sound.
Rolling.
Sound production, take 2.
Alrighty, so while you weren't looking, I ducked down the road, grabbed another piece of material and knocked up a new one. The guys ordered a new tap from, well before lunch yesterday, didn't get it away, so I won't see that today, won't get it till tomorrow. Rainy here this morning, if you can hear it on the roof. I don't think I want to try and part this off. I think I'll just take it out, cut it off from the saw and dress it up. So while I'm waiting for the tap to show up, I might do that, cut that off, dress the back up, and bore the guts out of that pulley and get all that set up, ready for when that tap finally gets here, I can tap this out. Now, so that I don't suffer the same fate as I did with the last one, I've drilled this out to 6mm right up to about here, to this point, so I've only got to tap the last little bit. That's all I really need. So I'll get on with that. Alrighty, so I ended up having to part that off. It took me forever because I literally had to part it off twice to get in there deep enough. Couldn't get it in the saw to grip it. Anyway, I need to take some out of this face because the added bit in here makes it a bit long for the thread sticking out the back to screw all this on with. Oh, that doesn't like that. This will take a little bit, I'll bring you back. Still got a bit of burr there. Look at that tiny little one. Still a tiny one. Righto, I'm going to call that done. Not short of a thread. Well, if I could find my verniers, I'd measure that. They've grown legs and walk. Well, I'll come back to you. Well, I'm completely baffled as to where those verniers got to. I had to dig out a spare pair and put new battery in it. And then just to make matters worse, I dropped one of the screws from the cover on the floor. And it's small, you can't even see the damn things. Well, I've got about just under 4mm to take out of this. Well, this should leave me with just a clean-up pass. A very fine clean-up pass. should be a nice press fit on there, I think. Bit of luck. So, a little chamfer up in the back. Bought a new compressor last week because the other ones just didn't have enough capacity to be able to run the mist coolant. So I bought one that's a bit more than double the capacity, but it's a bit noisier. Alrighty, so that's that, and I can't do anything else now until that damn tap gets here. Alrighty, had that thing I suspect is melanoma removed this morning, and I'll find out next week if that's what it is, or something a little less life-threatening. Well, this tap finally got here. It's about 1:30 in the afternoon. It's finally arrived. I'm not going to use WD-40 on it this time. I'm going to use some bloody oil. So there we go. A nice sharp tap might get in there a bit easier. Right, now I've got that thing started, I'm going to do it by hand so I can feel what's going on. You can see why that thing jammed up before. That's pretty clogged up. Alrighty, on the off chance you didn't notice, I've pressed that pulley on there, and it didn't have to take some pressing on. Could have done with a couple of 100 thousandths less or more taken out of the inside of this, but I got it on there in the end, so that's that. So now we can get on with it. Alrighty, so there you have it. Now, I was a little worried that this belt would be too short, but I'm going to have to lift it up a little. So just having a little play with it. That's a piece of 6mm. That's too much. You can see the motor's on a bit of an angle there. That's a piece of 4mm. And the belt's not, well, probably not tight enough, so maybe piece of 5mm. Well, we'll lift it up 5mm from that surface there, but probably just about spot on. So I'll get in and make a bracket. I'm a little worried that this motor's going to spin too fast for, well, to slow it down enough to drive this. You know, it might not have enough guts, but hey, nothing ventured, nothing gained. Alrighty, so now all I've got to do is try and finish bending these into the right spot. Alright, it's crunch time. Did I get the bends in this thing right? And I've just marked it up, punched the holes in the bottom to set over these two bolts. So let's see, this is belt fit or not. Is it too loose, too tight? I haven't tried this yet, so you're seeing it as I do. Ooh, two holes in the right place. And oh, it's a little loose, but I think that'll drive alright. Alrighty, so all I need to do now is, well no, that'll pull tight. I'm going to do something about, I can't weld aluminium here. I want to go and find a guy who can weld aluminium and just weld the corners up for me. And I've got this broke out of the top of a little footstool thing, two-step ladder we've got. And that is just a little smaller than the inside of that, but I reckon I'll just get the jigsaw out and cut a piece out of that for a little drop-in lid, keep all the crap out of it. That's why I bent all four sides up, so it wouldn't end up full of crap. Anyway, so all I need to do now is drill a couple of holes down through here so I can get it some Allen screws, tap them into the top to hold it all down, and I think we'll be honky-dory. Oh, I've got to drill and tap a hole in here yet, put a handle on, and then we'll be able to put it on, wire it up, see how we go. Alrighty, so it looks like I've hit a bit of a hurdle here. When I wired up the power feed for the cross slide originally, I put a DP-DT switch in it so that I could also use the same power source and the same speed controller for the power feed for the compound. And it just plugs in here. It has a plug like it just plugs in the side, so you can just pull it all off and unplug it. But when I plugged this in before, it just didn't seem to want to work. And now when I turn it on, the motor sometimes will start, sometimes it won't. And this is what I'm using, one of these pissy little things. I don't know whether it just hasn't got enough grunt, because sometimes this motor will run, sometimes it won't. I don't know if it's the motor, I don't think so. I just don't know what's going on. Oh, hang on. I haven't turned it on. Like I said, there's a DP-DT switch down here to control this thing. The motor's running. It won't run for long, and then it'll stop, or at least it was before. I might put the belt back on, do the screws up and see what happens. It's playing ball now, didn't want to play ball before. Alrighty, all I did with this was I got some of that aluminium tape and put a few wraps around it to seems to be holding it stiff enough. Alright, let's see what happens. Forward. Ooh. Reverse. It works, but it's a bit jerky. It might just need a little bit of running in. Wish we had fast forward like that on a Rapid Travis on all the other feeds I've got. Might need some more oil on those gibs too. Maybe that's the problem. It's a bit there. I'm sort of wondering if a better controller might work this better. I'm just not sure. Like I said, it might just need a little bit of running in. Some of those dovetails weren't the smoothest things. Alrighty, I don't think there's much more we can do with this now. Sort of making a little plastic lid up, and I don't think you need to see that. I'd like to thank my sponsors for their continued support, and if you'd like to become a sponsor, there's a link down in the description below. If you don't want to become a patron and via Patreon, you can always use Buy Me a Coffee. You can scan that QR code on the screen there now, or there's always that thanks button down below if you don't want to take those other two paths. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little project, and like I said, I wasn't sure whether it would work or not. It may work. After a while I'll try and bed this in. If you enjoy watching me make this, how about smashing that like button and giving us a great big thumbs up, and I'll see you next week. Oh, just before I go, what I'm waiting for to upgrade the mill still isn't here. There's no tracking available on this stuff, and the projected delivery date was today, and it's now 2:30 in the afternoon. It's still not here, so I don't like my chances of it showing up today. So I still might miss a week yet, depends when the thing shows up. But anyway, once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time, whenever that is. Bye bye.